And this next fight, we got an interesting matchup with Jourdain, the brother of Charles Jourdain, making his long anticipated potential UFC run. And he's taking on Magno Diaz, who's a Fighting Nerds guy. And we all know how good the Fighting Nerds have been in the Contender Series. But Jourdain at the moment, he's still more famous for the last name, but the man's been putting in work for over a decade. He's still pretty young, he's 28, but first amateur fight he had, he was 16 years old in 2013. He was 6-0 as an amateur, and in 2016 he went pro. Kind of been inconsistent at the pro level. He started off 3-0, but went 2-3 in his next 5 fights after that, and he was 5-3 in his first 8 fights. After that, it seemed like he took a lot of boxing matches, had some layoffs, and I don't know how dedicated he was to MMA at the time, but he is back on a win streak. He hasn't lost since 2021, and he looks like he's leveled up and has looked very good in his 3 fights. He's came back and gotten back into the swing of things. He's had a handful of pullouts and bad luck, so I think he was remaining active as well during the layoff, but he won in Samurai MMA over a 12-3 fighter in May, and it's time for him to get this opportunity to see if he's UFC level. Magno Diaz, he is 28, 3-fight win streak for him. He's not as experienced as Jourdain. He's only 6-1. He's been fighting since 2019, and he's fought exclusively in Brazil. All Brazilian opponents. His first 4 wins were against nobody good, but on paper, at least he beat a 3-0 and 7-1 fighter in his last 2 fights, even though I wasn't too impressed by them. And Jourdain definitely has a better resume. I would say he's tested himself more than Diaz, but all that matters is who wins on Tuesday night, and that's what we're about to find out. You look at Magno Diaz, plotter. He likes to walk guys down, throw hard low kicks, look for counters. He stays really patient, and if you don't open up, he'll just chop your legs and not really do much else. But he's fairly sharp. He has a nice left hook. He is almost too patient sometimes with the hands. I mean, doesn't let his hands go, just plods into range and can just be hittable in boxing range. His defense is more about footwork, moving in, moving out, but he's good at finding knees and elbows inside. Normally, he likes to be all the way in or all the way out. He likes to be at kicking range, throwing those leg kicks, or in the clinch. And he looks strong in the clinch against the cage. He can get slams. He's sloppy on top, though. I've seen him lose position in fights, but he has 4 submission wins. He's been submitted once. Jourdain, he's been submitted 2 times, so I could see the game plan for the Fighting Nerds. Maybe the leg kick, look for the takedown, and then try to find the submission. But, yeah, you see him here training in Sao Paulo. He, looking at him, he doesn't look like anything special, right? He's not like a great athlete. He doesn't look like the biggest guy. So I wasn't super impressed with him, but he does bring good low kicks. Seems like his nickname being the Violence. He likes to go out there and try to finish, do damage, but he's just very low volume, and I don't know how good he is with the hands, honestly. I feel like his striking leaves a little bit to be desired. It's like 1-2 shot counters, but if you get a little bit more advanced than that, I'm not sure how exactly good he's going to look or how his defense is going to be. But you see him here working, with at least good enough guys. I'm not too impressed overall with Magno Diaz, though, if I'm going to be honest. I feel like he's one of the lower level Fighting Nerds guys from what I've seen. And Jourdain, he is a striker. He throws a ton of kicks. He'll attack all parts of the body, low kicks. He'll throw a lot of front kicks, side kicks, head kicks. Sometimes he just flicks the kicks out there as rangefinders, but he will sit down with heavy kicks as well. His teeps are nasty. And great boxing on the inside. He picks the shots well. Nasty short hooks, nasty uppercuts. In boxing range, he has much better hands, sharper defense. And I think he has to be on the pressure and stance switches here. He is a plotter and kind of heavy on the lead leg, so he needs to minimize how easy it is to chop. And I really am not sold on Louis Jourdain's takedown defense. He hasn't had to show his grappling in a long while, but we'll see if it holds up in this one. He was taken down in his last fight early on, but he got back up pretty quickly. His scrambles look decent. He just can't give up his back or get stalled out, and he has a lot of experience. I feel like he's going to be able to not let that happen in the biggest fight he's ever had. And I feel like Jourdain has the volume edge on the feet, but power potentially could be on the side of Diaz. Jourdain is a durable guy, though, and I think that Jourdain should try to throw high kicks and force boxing exchanges. I could see him getting a highlight reel knockout here potentially. But I think this fight should be priced close to a pick'em. Jourdain is more skilled, more dynamic, but he is a dangerous guy in front of him who he has to respect. Jourdain has some flaws. You can take him down. He's a little hittable, but I just think Jourdain has had a strange career. He's not been that active, and due to that, though, we don't know exactly how good he is. I think he's better than people think in terms of the hands, potentially even with the grappling. We've seen his brother hit several guillotines in the UFC, and Lewis only has one submission win and isn't a guillotine, but training with Charles, maybe it could transfer. And I think that this fight ends via submission might be like a sneaky bet for either guy because it's going to be at a high number. If Diaz wins, I think he's going to take the back and get the rear naked choke potentially. We've seen Jourdain submit to the RNC twice, and Magno has 2 rear naked chokes on his record. And I think that the guillotine could potentially be there. We saw Magno get submitted with the guillotine against a low-level guy, so maybe Jourdain can, find that gilly, but that's more like a value play. And ultimately, I think it's going to be Jourdain on points. I just think he's going to be the sharper boxer. I think he's going to figure out how to shut off the leg kicks and not be controlled and held down on the mat, land the better shots on the feet, potentially hurt Diaz a few times. And I think that he's just going to be the better fighter everywhere. So give me Jourdain here to pick up this victory.